Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are answering a question on the detriments of removing exercise when you're going through recovery. The bad side, like how do we, deal with the problems that not exercising has been causing us. So let's kick off with the exercise question. Let's just get it out of the way because I answer this one so often that, you guys already know. So Patricia says, hey, I have a question. I've recovered from HA by mostly just gaining weight and I've had my period 2 times, but I'm waiting for the third and it's late, hoping it will not miss out completely. The thing is, I've never stopped training during recovery. A little, training recovery, a little easier, sure, on the high intensity, still a lot of running, weightlifting, walking, etc., just very active altogether. And I also believe it's possible to get better with exercise. But would you recommend still totally to stop it? It seems really wrong because I did see and feel a change in my everyday health, kinda. Once I got less fit, it negatively impacted a lot of areas of my life. So I'm not really ready to give that up. Do you have any tips on that? Patricia, you are juicy. You submitted this question to me like a month ago. So I don't know, maybe you got your period back by then, maybe you figured it out on your own. But if you did get it, it was too late. Like it took a long time, right? You can have hormonal activity, you can have progress and still exercise sometimes. There's so much context missing to this question, right? And that's okay. It's a Q&A. But if your cycles when you were exercising and stuff were perfect, okay, that's one thing. If you have no idea, that's another thing. And if you weren't ovulating, if your progesterone was too low, whatever, like your luteal phase was too short, they were never truly responding in full force the way you want them to with your exercise. So something you did, and here's what I bet it was, because we see this in practice all the time. You made changes, you ate more, whatever it was, you got your period back, you were training, you got a second one, look at you, look at me, I'm doing it, I'm the unicorn, I'm doing it. So you back off, less diligence, more of like, oh, I think it's started now, I've got 2 now, so like the third one's probably just like gonna come. Why would I just stop? Like, so I'm just going to increase this a little bit. Like, I'm going to do a bit more weightlifting, or I'm going to do a bit more running, or whatever. Or I'm gonna ease off on the food so that this whole like weight gain part that may have happened in recovery, so that like goes away and it's like a distant memory. These are the things that happen either consciously or subconsciously, and that's probably the problem. If not, if it just went away, then what it means is like that first one came back, maybe you were eating more or just like a huge shift happened. Sometimes we have to really look back at the calendar with someone and figure out like what was happening during that time to create this wonderful situation where you got a period. So that's the thing. And then the next one kind of came riding on the coattails of that. And then the third one, like lifestyle situation changed in some way, less stress, like maybe you got more busy at work, back then you were less stressed or something, I don't know. So now you've like toppled your fragile tower over. If you can lose your period this easily, you're fragile, right? So that's like that piece. That's that piece, like this story that you're inventing because it suits the narrative that you want to believe, that you are more healthy with exercise is like a narrative. Okay. And you say, I also believe it's possible to get better with exercise. It is for some people, and to get better, yes, but if you want optimal cycles, if you want fertility, if you want ovulation, if you want conception, totally different story. Better isn't best. Right? Okay, but would you still recommend to totally stop? It just depends. I don't know your case. I wouldn't recommend one way or the other 100%. But it sounds like if you're doing all those things, running, weightlifting, walking, active altogether, something should probably give. And then you said, once I got less fit, it negatively impacted a lot of areas of my life. That's nondescript, so I have no idea what those areas are. And that's curious to me. I would love to know. I would love to know, right? It's like, I just have a feeling that's what you feel and think, but it may not be valid. You know, I think that like we feel like our life is negatively impacted because the way I'm not moving around as much makes me feel lazy or whatever. It makes me feel sluggish. I feel more stiff. I feel like I haven't earned my food, and that's making me feel sad. Like there's a plethora of reasons, but you exercising less cannot destroy your relationships, cannot upset your financial safety, cannot really impact your social life. Some people feel like it can, like, oh, my running group, like, have coffee with them. Do you know? So the negative piece of this, like, I would really encourage you to look at that and like, what's the story you're telling yourself around that? Because of course it's uncomfortable to change, and of course you believe a certain thing about people who work out, but that may need to change. It's hard to associate yourself with like the type of person you don't want to be, but that's all happening in our mind. That's not reality. So that's something just to look at. And then the last piece I think I'll say on this is once I got less fit, it negatively impacted a lot of areas of my life. Also, side note, if you mean like your digestion and stuff, there's also things you can do about that. And it can sometimes be a shift to stop moving as much. But if your body relied on exercise in order to like function, that's a problem, right? So once I got less fit, it negatively impacted it. You are not fit. You may have a higher endurance capacity. You might be strong. You might be fast, but you're not healthy and you're not fit. Like, this is to anyone who's trying to, figure out, do I keep training because I don't want to get heart disease, or do I stop? If the exercise is truly to be fit, if your values are truly to be fit, you will do what is best for your body. When it's screaming a problem is occurring, right? And it can be a real trap to get some periods with exercise or at a certain weight or whatever. Like, there's lots of different combinations. Like, I got my period back at the most stressed time in my life, or I got my period back when I was the smallest I've ever been, or I got my period back when I was running 50 miles a week. And then they don't again, and they can't let go of that. But like, the facts are in front of you. That happened once, it hasn't happened again. We need to let go of it. It's like having a bad for you ex-boyfriend who you're just like, he's gonna come back and it's gonna be great. You know? So if what you're saying is, my life is better when I'm thin and overachieving and go and running off cortisol, that's your personal choice. That's totally a thing. People choose all the time to be less healthy in the pursuit of other goals. But if you're here and you want period and you want to be healthy, all signs lead to a shift in how you are perceiving health and wellness and activity. and getting a bit more open to not controlling as much. I hope this was helpful. I need a drink of water. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Send me a question through danny@thehasociety.com. Would love to chat. And if you guys are interested in working with us as practitioners to help dial in your nutrition, figure out your exact exercise needs, talk through all these issues, track progress using actual metrics, get your period back in a timely manner, and get pregnant if you wish, check us out at thehasociety.com, and I'll see you guys next week